Hello, guys. What's up? Ignore my room. It's actually, well, I guess it's not that bad, but it bothers me. Let me move this. Hang on. So, today I wanted to talk about how I got started in dance. I get this question a lot, like, how long have you been dancing, and how come it comes so natural to you? Blah 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 blah. Right? And so I'm just gonna explain to you my life and how I ended up teaching the dance and why we use it to worship God. So let me go back to when I was young. When I was between the ages of, I think it was 6 and 0, I don't really remember too much about dance. I don't remember ever doing dance. I might have, but I can't remember before that. It wasn't until my mom moved back to Hawaii. Uh, so I was actually born in Florida, and then we moved to like Oklahoma. I think we lived in other places. I don't really remember. It was all very vague when I was little. My mom was actually born and raised in Hawaii on Oahu, but she moved to Florida shortly after she graduated from high school, I think. So um, from there, like I said, I don't remember anything until she moved back to Hawaii. And she moved back to Hawaii because my grandpa was really sick and she wanted to be close to him. So yeah, we moved there. And shortly after we got there, I joined a halau. And my mom obviously wanted me to learn the Hawaiian culture. So she put me in a halau, which, if you don't know what that is just a hula group. And that one, I wasn't really in that one for very long. I don't think 6 months, maybe a year. And it was really, really basic, really simple. Not too much discipline involved in it. It was just kind of for fun. And then my mom, I distinctly remember this. She met somebody at there was a new pool in our community. It was a community pool, and we went to the opening for it. And when we were there was a halau dancing for this event, and my mom really liked it. It was old-fashioned type hula, and she talked to the hula halau instructor, and what she told my mom was, I am very strict. So if you are not serious about hula, you don't want to put your daughter in this because like I said, I am very strict. My mom actually liked that. She wanted something strict for me, to teach me discipline and the old style of hula as well. So she immediately put me in, and I was in it for a long time, and it was brutal. It most people think that hula is just kind of for fun. Not this. Not this. This is. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was definitely fun. We had fun, but it was really intense. We spent hours practicing, and if we got out of line, there were things that she did that would hurt so bad. Like a lot of people like to put their kids in, what is it called? Karate, right? For discipline. And they use the same kind of tactics where if the kids get out of line, they'll make them do push-ups or something for a certain amount of time. Well, we had the same kind of discipline. So if we got out of line, we had to do duck walks. I don't know if you know what those are, but those are created by the devil himself. I am not even joking. It is one of the most painful things I have ever had to endure. And you could probably look it up and see what it is, but we would have to do these back and forth until she felt like we really got it, like we're not going to get out of line again. They were painful. So it was very strict. And I definitely learned the Hawaiian culture. I learned the old ways of Hawaiiana. And from there, my mom's dream was for me to go to college. And so, well, I think it was my dad's too, but they worked really hard to get me in a really difficult school. So they were able to get me into this school, and that was another brutal situation. In my first year, I was actually saved. I started going to church. I got saved, and being that we were in Hawaii, they used hula as a form of worship for God, and so naturally, I got involved in that. So I danced with the halaus there, and while I was in high school, I really don't know how this happened, but somehow I became the teacher for hula. And this high school that I was in, it didn't have any Hawaiiana in it at all. In fact, there were not very many Hawaiians there at all. It was a really small percentage. Granted, it was a small school, so we probably had somewhere between 7 and 10 Hawaiians just in our class, but our class was only about 52 people. But still, being that we were in Hawaii and there was that little amount of Hawaiians in this school is kind of sad, actually. But by the time I came there, we got a new headmaster, and he was looking to reach out to that community, to reach out to those, to have that kind of involvement from the Hawaiian culture in our school. And yeah, I don't know how this happened, but I guess he saw that I had that ability to teach the hula. And I don't know about if he saw that I had that ability to choreograph, but that's what happened. I ended up choreographing hulas and teaching them to the people there. And whoever wanted to get involved in the hula, I would teach them the hula, and we would perform for whatever events we had going on. Like, we had assembly every day, and so during some of the assemblies we would dance a hula for that. And so somehow I was the one chosen. It was not something I asked for. It just kind of fell in my lap. So that's what kind of started my journey in teaching dance and choreographing dances. I actually surprised myself. I didn't think I could choreograph anything, but because it kind of fell in my lap, I just got up and I started doing it, and I really surprised myself at how good I was at it. So yeah, like I said, that's what started my journey in that. And then from there, when I graduated, I moved to Oahu and started going to college there. Then I met my husband. And I think it was only about a year and a half after we got married that we moved. He was in the military. And so we've been all over the place. And so we moved to Texas. We lived in Florida. He went to Iraq for a year, so we've just been all over the place. And when we moved from Hawaii to Texas, there was quite a few years where I didn't dance at all, because a lot down south, a lot of the congregations down there do not believe that. They actually believe that dance should not be part of worship, that it does not belong in the church, which I think is really sad, very unfortunate. I do not see evidence of that in the Word. I don't see anywhere where God says we should not worship Him. Obviously, there is a right way and a wrong way to worship God. You can bring a certain kind of music into the church, and it does not glorify Him. You can say that that's worship, but it's not. So clearly, you can do the same thing with the dance. You can worship Him in a right way, and you can worship Him in a wrong way. And in a way, I can kind of understand, because I can kind of understand why, some leaders would not want dance as a part of their service in worship, because, it could get bad, and they might not want to deal with that. But if you set up rules and boundaries, like for example, the women in our congregation, they are not allowed to get up and dance if they do not have a skirt on below the knees, and that is because it covers those lower regions, and keeps it holy in a way. It keeps it clean, so that, I mean, if a woman's wearing pants and she's dancing, well, that's going to accentuate her her parts, and we don't need to be doing that in God's house. So we have rules and boundaries in our congregation that make it possible for us to have a wonderful worship service using the dance. Wonderful and clean and safe. People who think that the dance is not appropriate for worship, generally speaking, either they come to me and they say it's not appropriate and they don't give me any kind of scripture to back up their claim, or they give me one scripture. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you can't just give me one scripture. And you can't just give me your opinion. I want God's opinion. What is God's opinion about worship in dance? I don't want man's opinion, I want God's. And I know that I find God's opinion in the Word. And it says, let all things be established out of the mouth of 2 and 3 witnesses. So this is why you can't just give me one scripture, because that's just one witness. Matthew is one, Mark is one, Luke is one. Give me 2 or 3 scriptures that you think will back up your claim, and I might start believing you. So I don't see evidence in the Word that shows that you can't dance and worship God. I actually see the opposite. For example, David danced. And, okay, so he was reprimanded by his wife, but she was out of order. She was not right in reprimanding him. He was worshiping God with all his heart. And so, it says worship God with the tambourine and the lyre, and also, he put the worshipers who danced and who sang at the same time in the front. One time when they were going to war, God said, I want them in the front. And he used them as his spiritual warfare to hang on, I'm sorry. I hear my son making noise. I lost my train of thought. So he used them to defeat an army. So I'm not finding evidence in the Word that shows that we can't worship God. Clearly there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. But yeah, we do it. We have rules and boundaries set up to do it the right way. So now we're at this congregation. We're in Washington. And actually when we got here to the congregation that we're at now, I don't think I even... Hi, Emma Richards. Thanks for stopping by. I don't think... It was about a year, I think, before I actually got involved in the dance that they have. It's a Davidic dance. And if you've been watching on my channel, you know that I have been teaching this dance. And I do want to apologize. I have not uploaded a video in, it's been a month or two. No, it hasn't been 2 months. It's been about a month. Long story. Basically, life got in the way. But I'm going to get back on the bandwagon and get those videos going again. But back to my story. Yeah, at this congregation I'm at, I didn't dance for at least a year. I wanted to really get to know the people. And plus the dance was a totally different style of dance than I'd ever seen. I wanted to get used to seeing it first and kind of understand the fluidity of it before I really got involved in it. So it was about a year, and then I got involved in it and started dancing with the congregation. And it was, I think it was about another year or two before I really started getting inspired to start choreographing dances again using this new style of dance. And again, I kind of surprised myself when I started actually choreographing dances. And the people were so open to it, and they made it really easy for me. I was like really nervous at first because I was not the leader and I was new to it, and I wasn't sure how everybody was going to react. But they made it really easy for me, and they were very welcoming. And so I started teaching some dances. I choreographed some, and then I started teaching them. And over time, I just got more and more into teaching those dances. And I'm not the leader. I'm still not the leader, thank God. That's a really big responsibility. But the leader I do work with very closely. We do a lot together, and she's awesome. I love her. And so now, there was a lady who came through our congregation for a while and taught us how to use flags, which is another one that I'm going to teach. And I absolutely love it. It is beautiful, and it incorporates the Davidic dance steps in with the flags. And it's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. And so that's another series that I'm going to get into, is teaching the flags with the Davidic dance. But I have to set the stage for it first, doing just the steps in Davidic dance, before I can get into the more advanced flags and whatnot. So that's where I'm at right now, and that's why I'm working on this series. I find it's going to be a great tool for us, so that when we have new people coming in, because we have such a short period of time to teach any dances, most of the time what we end up doing in our congregation is we only have time to teach a dance that we intend to use as a dance offering for one of the holidays. And so we don't have enough time to really teach the steps and get into the basics. So when we have new people coming in, this is why I'm teaching this, and this is why I'm putting this up online, so that I can say to them, okay, you go to this channel, watch these videos, and learn the steps. Then they can come to us to learn the actual dances that we're doing, and we can just call out the steps. So that's where we're at right now. And kind of talked for a little bit longer than I expected, but if you're watching this, I would really appreciate it if you shared it for me, and if you would subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit the bell button so that you get all the notifications whenever I have a new video coming in. And you can go to my website as well, eichleressence.com, EIKLORESSENCE.com. Thanks for watching, guys. You're awesome. I love you. Mwah! Have an awesome day. Adios.